Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Yvette.
And your search for the next breakout podcast is over.
Welcome to Search Complete. Hello and welcome to Search Complete, a podcast where we see what the internet has been searching for by taking the first part of the question and seeing what Google thinks we want to know. But before typing it in, we'll guess how it auto-completes, and you can play along at home. We can have a good laugh at society's expense, and then we'll realise we actually want to know the answers. So we've actually got another listener-suggested search topic today.
Oh, I didn't know this one was listener requested.
Yeah, it was actually requested by your gran,
Oh.
Zoe.
Thank you, Granny.
So the search phrase for today is, am I allergic to?
Okay.
So it kind of follows on from our Is It Possible To episode, where we discussed, is it possible to be allergic to water?
Yeah. That was I like that one. Which episode? Can you remember what episode that was? That was way back at the beginning. You guys are going to have to scroll down the list to find that one. But I think that one might come up.
Yeah, am I allergic to water?
Yeah. No, actually, I don't think it will.
I feel like it's quite a rare allergy.
It was extremely rare. We were talking like tens of cases ever reported.
Yeah.
So people actually won't be searching, am I? Yeah, I don't think that one's going to come up. One I definitely think will come up is, am I allergic to milk or lactose?
Yeah, I had that as well, lactose and dairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of natural to become lactose intolerant as you age.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's true.
Like in nature, you're not really supposed to drink milk. Like it's kind of just a weird thing
At least
that humans do.
After a certain age anyway.
Yeah, that's why you're supposed to give cats cat milk. Like it's not milk from cats, it's just lactose-free milk that cats can drink, like adult cats.
Yeah, I personally try and have lactose-free milk and cheese. I've never been tested, but I feel like you don't want to be in the room if I've had a lot of cheese.
Lovely. But at least this is an audio medium and not a smellio medium.
What else have you got?
On a similar vein, I was thinking gluten.
Yeah,
because I think like gluten intolerance is kind of in the zeitgeist at the moment. Like it became unfashionable to eat gluten at one point, didn't it? And now everyone's probably like, oh well, all these negative feelings I have, maybe it's because I'm allergic to gluten.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, seems probably unlikely.
Yeah. Actually, I got two other food ones. One is eggs.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people think they're allergic to eggs.
I think eggs is like a legit allergy that people do have as well. Yeah.
And the other one is nuts.
Yeah, although I feel like
specific nut.
Nuts is like, I feel like you probably know about it if you're allergic to nuts. Like nut allergies can be quite bad, can't they? And they're often tested for.
But to be fair, like you think you're allergic to hazelnut. Right?
Yeah. True.
I mean, I think you probably are, but
not in like a serious,
not a severe one. No way.
But I wouldn't like to eat them. So my food ones that I've got is like sugar.
Okay.
Like, I feel like people might be searching like if it's stuff that they eat, like with gluten or lactose, or maybe like sugar, if they eat a lot of it and then they feel really bad afterwards.
I mean, like a cake, basically.
Yeah. So I feel like with sugar, you could eat a lot and then get like a sugar crash and then feel really awful.
Yeah.
And I think some people are probably more sensitive to that than others, and they might think they're allergic to it.
Yeah.
I know some people do a diet that's like no added sugar.
I mean, that's probably a healthy, like, I think food with added sugar is probably like processed food, which is definitely not good for you.
Yeah.
Moving away from the food, am I allergic to dust?
Yeah.
I feel like when hoovering and stuff is quite often I get, basically hay fever-like symptoms.
Like the itchy eyes and
a runny nose. And I imagine another one will be, am I allergic to like pollen?
Yeah, I had like, am I allergic to grass/plants? Because I feel like a lot of people have hay fever, but you might have hay fever that's like so bad that you're like, is this a hay fever or am I actually allergic to this?
Am I allergic to the air?
And also I feel like sometimes people can get like a rash from grass and like certain plants as well, like on their skin.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Do you get that? If you've been like rolling around as a kid, I'd always end up like with like really itchy skin.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like an allergic reaction as such. It's more just like a natural reaction.
Yeah. Speaking of skin reactions, a couple of things I thought was maybe sweat. Am I allergic to sweat? Because I feel like you can get like a sweat rash, can't you, if you sweat a lot? So you might be wondering if that's an allergy. and also metal.
Okay.
Like I know some people are allergic to like certain metal jewelry if it's not like the hypoallergenic or gold or silver.
Yeah.
So it's a good excuse to have only very classy jewelry.
Yeah. Diamonds only.
Solid diamond,
Platinum.
everything. What else have you got?
The final one I've got is, am I allergic to boys/girls?
Boys?
It depends on how much stock Google takes from
Like
9-year-olds.
Yeah. No,
But it could come up.
I
think it could. It's a bit of a shot in the dark, though.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a random one.
You'll be laughing when it comes up.
I've got a couple of more ones. Am I allergic to the sun? I feel like people
who are ginger like you.
People do tend to spend a lot of time indoors now, don't they? And I feel like you can end up feeling quite horrible if you spend too long in the sun, like if you've got a headache or something. And
like a heat stroke or mild heat stroke.
Yeah, heat stroke. And also, like, my brother gets this weird rash from the sun, like if he goes out and it's quite hot.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's an allergy, but something weird. And also, am I allergic to animals or fur?
Completely missed that one. Like pets, animals, cats and dogs especially, because people spend a lot of time around cats and dogs. Can't believe I didn't think of that one.
I know, you're mostly on the food hype, I guess.
Yeah. I think I'm actually feeling pretty confident we're going to get all of them here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I feel like always some random ones come up, don't they?
Yep. All right. Let's search this bad boy.
So, as always, if you enjoy the show, don't forget to subscribe and to tell everyone you know how great it is. And you can also follow us on social media at scpodcast_UK on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, here we go.
Am I allergic to cats? My dog?
I like how it's to cats in general, and then it's like my dog.
My dog.
It's not just cats. It's not my cat. It's just my dog. Do you think that's because people pet not stray cats, but like cats wander around more?
Or maybe people are just more attached to their dogs. Like there is am I allergic to my cat later down.
Okay. Still, I think it's quite an interesting insight into people.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of this podcast, or at least part of the podcast. Next one, am I allergic to alcohol?
Oh.
No, mate, you're just hungover.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, maybe there is such a thing, but yeah, I feel like you could probably feel pretty bad from alcohol without being allergic to it.
We didn't get that one.
No. Am I allergic to gluten? And am I allergic to dairy? Oh, am I allergic to eggs? And to milk?
Nice. And the final couple are, am I allergic to latex? And am I allergic to condoms? Basically the same question. No, not true, because there's latex gloves as well. But I think mostly because of condoms. I'm going to take a screenshot of these and put them in the show notes. And it'd be really interesting to hear if you guys get any different ones due to region or whatever Google knows about you. We're going to go away and bring back the info on some of the more interesting ones. And we're back. So before going into some of the more specific things, we wanted to maybe just touch on like what is an allergy, just so we're all on the same page, because amongst our research we go like, here are the symptoms of this allergy, but really it all comes down to the same situation.
And like what causes an allergic reaction. Yeah.
So the description is, the immune system mistakes a substance that is harmless for something that is dangerous and attacks it. These substances are what we call allergens, and about 1 in 4 people in the UK have allergies.
That's quite high, actually.
Yeah. Did you name some common allergies?
So what was on the list? Various foods, gluten, dairy, animals, pollen.
Yeah,
hay
pollen
fever.
was the other big one that didn't actually come up on our list, or come up on the results, which actually is quite surprising.
So is hay fever a pollen allergy?
Yes.
Or is that different?
No, that's exactly what it is. And when your body attacks something, it causes an immune response, much like, if you have a cold, flu, coronavirus.
Yeah, because your blood cells try and get rid of it as if it was something dangerous invading your system.
So this is like, gives you coughing, rashes, itchy eyes, redness of skin if like whatever has touched you that you're allergic to, stuffy nose, sneezing, and extreme cases, death. Just basically your body being an idiot. There are about 3 main ways in which you can get tested if you think you have an allergy of something. You can have a skin test, where they put a small amount of the suspect allergen on your skin and sees if there's a reaction.
Have you seen those where they draw like a grid on your arm?
No, I haven't.
And then they drop. You do a little drop, and then you get a rash if it's a bad substance.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that. Where on our previous podcast, where and is it possible to be allergic to water? Yeah. And that is how they found out someone was allergic to water, because there's a control which is just water,
and they still got the rash.
Yeah. The other types of tests are elimination type tests. This is mainly used with food allergies. So basically just remove that one food from your entire diet, see if it makes you better.
Yeah.
Or I guess the other way is to remove all potential allergies and reintroduce them. And final is a blood test. Treatments, generally you'll probably see most people take antihistamines. Histamine is a key protein involved in the immune response. So if you block it, it's not going to trigger those annoying coughing, blocked nose, those sort of reactions. You can also take decongestants to help with a blocked nose.
Yep.
Steroids as well to help with nasal congestions. Yeah. Did you say you're on steroids and you're just like squirting these things up your nose?
Getting ripped on your allergies.
So I have rhinitis, which is a real thing. Basically allergic to the air.
Dust,
the dust
isn't it?
is dust, yeah. And they were like, you take nasal sprays. And I was like, is my nose going to get hench? I was going to have this huge nose.
I don't think that's really how steroids work, is it?
No.
You have a huge and muscular nose.
Just really good at doing that nose thing, twitching your nose. Other treatment is immunotherapy. So basically, this is where you administer increasing doses of the said allergen. The idea to induce long-term tolerance. But a bit like a flu shot or vaccines, yes. But this is only used for like extremely severe allergies.
I guess it can be quite dangerous to do as well.
It is. And I guess, I don't know if this falls under a treatment, but Ep11. So if someone has a severe reaction, they go into anaphylaxis. I can't say it. What is it? How do you say
Anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And basically this is just a shot of adrenaline to help your body cope.
To stop the airways closing and the things that actually kill you in a really severe allergic reaction.
Yeah. Basically, bottom line is that an allergy is when you have immune response to something you shouldn't have.
Yeah. So this brings us on to our first topic from the search results. Mm-hmm. Am I allergic to gluten?
Are you?
Well, I'm not. But some people are, and a gluten allergy is called celiac disease.
Spelled really weird.
Yes, Coeliac.
Coeliacs.
I think in America they don't spell it with the C. No, they do spell it with the C without the O, so it's just C-E-L.
Celiacs.
Which makes a bit more sense, I think.
For once.
Yeah, so in celiac condition, your immune system mistakes substances, so proteins found inside gluten. So often the allergens are proteins. Your immune system mistakes gluten as a threat to the body and then attacks them while you eat gluten. But this immune response actually can damage your gut, like your small intestine. Okay. And then you can be unable to take in nutrients, and that can also cause the symptoms as well. Okay,
so it's almost like a double-edged situation going on here. You get the normal immune response that I talked about earlier, and then also your gut stops functioning correctly.
Yeah, so it's the symptoms, but maybe as a result of the symptoms, you can't absorb the nutrients. So the symptoms are things sort of like diarrhea, bloating, and also like abdominal pain. But because your small intestine isn't functioning properly because it's doing the diarrhea or whatever, then you're not taking in the nutrients because everything's getting passed straight through. Gluten is a dietary protein which is found in 3 types of cereal, including wheat, barley, and rye.
Yeah.
So that's found in any food containing those cereals. Can you think of some sort of obvious things that have gluten in?
Cereal.
Yeah.
Beer as well.
Yeah.
Cake.
Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah. Pasta.
Yeah, pasta.
All the delicious carbs. But there are also some foods that are like, you wouldn't expect them to contain gluten, but they do. So if you first get a diagnosis of celiac disease, there's a lot of like label reading and figuring out what products you actually can eat. Like, can you think of anything that you know has gluten but you wouldn't expect?
So I know that some grated cheese has gluten because they use flour as like to stop the cheese sticking together.
Yeah. And also some ice creams even
cream?
Yeah, a little bit of gluten. Soy sauce often has gluten.
Wow. Actually, I did know the soy sauce one, but I did not know about the ice cream one.
some French fries, especially from like fast food places, because they fry it in the same oil as like the chicken nuggets and stuff. You get cross-contamination. Crisps. Because they're made of potatoes, they don't naturally have gluten, but if sometimes the seasoning has flour in and stuff.
There's a lot of seasoning stuff.
Also, like some sort of pre-made sauces, like cheese sauce you get for lasagnas and stuff.
Yeah.
And soup.
Soup?
Yeah. Just a lot of processed foods may have gluten. So like there's a lot of, like when you first start, you really have to check everything. So the symptoms are already touched on, and they can be like a range of severity, but they're sort of things like diarrhea, brackets, which may smell particularly unpleasant.
Not that it smells great to begin with.
Yeah, I don't know that you'd be like, this diarrhea smells much worse than all the other nice diarrheas I've ever had.
I feel like if this is a symptom, you'll know.
Yeah. Stomach ache, bloating and farting.
Yeah.
Indigestion and constipation. So it's not exactly clear what causes the immune system to act this way and what the reasons are for developing celiac disease. But it's thought that a combination of genetics and environment play a part. And celiac can develop at any age, but symptoms are more likely to develop during early childhood, between 8 and 12 months old, although it may take years before a correct diagnosis is made. And then also in later adulthood, between 40 and 60 years old.
Wow, okay.
I don't know what the reason for that is, but yeah, so there's no cure for celiac disease. You just have to follow the gluten-free diet to alleviate the symptoms.
It must be an absolute bitch to diagnose. It's like this baby is like pooping more.
Yeah, so especially in the UK, like routine testing like isn't typically done unless you've got like a relative with celiac disease because of the genetic
component to
it. But it just seems strange that the testing isn't done routinely because it affects like 1 in 100 people, which seems fairly common.
That is bordering on common, yeah.
Yeah. So the test involves a blood test to detect celiac antibodies, and then that can be followed up by a biopsy of the small intestine to confirm.
Okay. So that's quite invasive, that biopsy then.
Yeah, they do it, with where they put the tube down your throat.
That must be horrible.
They often give like sedatives, and they will do a local anaesthetic in your throat so you're not like choking on it. Yeah. But I don't think it's particularly pleasant, which is probably why they don't often do it.
Yeah.
So should we go back to the men versus women?
Okay.
I think there's a difference in celiac diagnosis.
I want to say women have it more, and the only reason I say that is because I think the only couple of people I know who are celiac are women.
Okay. Well, you are right.
Okay.
The reported cases are 3 times higher in women than men.
Wow.
Which is quite a big difference.
Stats for the win.
I mean, it might just be that men don't seek their diagnosis as much.
It sounds like,
I don't know.
If it happens early on in life, that you don't really have much of a choice.
What about, like, if you don't have celiac disease, like the gluten-free diet has kind of become a bit of a fad, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was curious as to why that's gained so much popularity recently.
Well, I know gluten generally is quite hard to digest, or you don't actually digest gluten, something like that, like the actual the protein. So I don't know whether like someone came along and was like, this isn't good for you because your body doesn't really use it, and then suddenly a couple of sports people and famous people were like, yeah, you're right, I feel so much better when I've removed it from my diet, and then they kind of just like the virality of that.
Yeah, I feel like it, because I looked it up, and there was one study that reckoned 26 to 30% of adults in the US claim to be reducing their gluten intake.
Wow.
And that's huge, considering like if 1% of people actually have celiac disease. And I think it's mostly due to like celebrities, including Gwyneth Paltrow, saying that it's healthy, but I don't know that there's much science behind it, because these celebrities have been saying, they're great for, losing weight and stuff. And it probably, like, a gluten-free diet probably is good for losing weight, but just because you can't eat cake or bread anymore.
Yeah, removes a lot of carbs and makes you think more about what you're eating as well.
Yeah. So there have been studies that claim gluten-free diet actually has no health benefits for people unless you have celiac disease.
Yeah.
So if you do have these symptoms and you're worried it might be celiac, see your doctor. But just, if you occasionally get bloated after eating loads of cakes. You're probably not.
Probably just ate too many cakes.
Yeah.
I looked into, am I allergic to cats? And also, am I allergic to dogs? Seemed to make sense to lump this into one. So what percentage of the US population do you think has a pet allergy?
I think quite a lot of people say that they're allergic to animals, don't they? So maybe like, I don't know, 15%?
Yeah, pretty close, 10%. Which, it feels like that's quite high. Considering 1 in 4 people in the UK have some allergy, that's going to make up for... Pet allergy is going to make up for quite a lot of that. So with cats, cat allergies are actually twice as common as dog allergies. Don't know why. But here's a little QI question for you.
Okay.
What about the pet do you think people are allergic to?
I don't know, really. I guess it has to be sort of stuff that comes airborne, right? Often. Mm-hmm. So maybe like proteins in there, like skin or something.
Did you like look this up before we did this?
No.
Because you're bang on.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people think it actually comes from the fur. And like there's a lot of stuff going around about like hypoallergenic dogs or cats. But really that's bullshit. And yeah, so it's a protein called del-D1.
So is it the same for both cats and dogs?
Well, not the same protein, but it's not fur.
Okay. Well, the fur is
specifically
just sort of hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is worse for furrier pets, is it not?
No, so that's the thing. It's not.
Oh.
And it's actually, they've shown that there's even like variation in how people react to dogs or cats that are within the same breed.
Okay, so you can have a particularly flaky pet that's
So
gives off more allergens.
Yeah, so these allergens or this protein del-D1, at least in cats, is released in saliva, urine, and dander. Dander being dry skin flakes.
Okay, like dandruff.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's called dandruff. But it also should note that fur kind of plays a part because you could bring in external allergens.
Yeah.
Such as like pollen from their fur, and if you've got longer fur, you're going to catch more of those like dust mites or
I'm wondering whether it's like sort of coarse-haired animals are not... People don't react as badly because their fur doesn't like hold all of the skin flakes as much. They're not like it's not sort of following them around in a cloud as much. I don't know.
That could make a difference. So here are some tips on living with cats and dogs if you do have allergies. Brush them outside using gloves.
Yeah.
Because brushing, it does remove like skin or dander.
Yeah.
Keep the pet out of specific areas like the bedroom and bathroom where you're going to be sort of trying to clean yourself or with the bedroom, sleeping. Wash your hands all the time, which I think is something we're all doing a bit more now.
Yeah.
Have hardwood flooring. There was some stat that like carpet is 100 times dirtier.
Well, it's because all the bits can get caught in the carpet.
Exactly. Get plenty of fresh air into your home. Clean the litter box as often as you can because the urine. Wash your pets' bedding and wash the pet. And finally, this is an interesting one. Female cats produce lower levels of these allergens.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe if you know you're allergic or like mildly allergic, consider getting a female.
Interesting.
And something I thought was interesting was that there's been studies that exposing a baby to a pet can decrease chances of being allergic in the future.
Maybe they get, their body gets used to the allergen.
It's kind of like
that
immunotherapy in a way.
Immune system is first coming into action.
Yeah. I also think, like, if you're developing as a kid, right, or as a baby, I guess what you're exposed to at the beginning of life is like what your body expects is normal.
It sets as the baseline.
Yeah, the baseline, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's probably something to do with it. Some common treatments for allergies to cats and dogs is the antihistamines, which we talked about before, nasal steroids, nasal sprays, and you can get allergy shots.
Okay.
But I think that's probably bordering on the immunotherapy stuff, so you have to be really freaking ill. Maybe
I know some people who, if they spend too long in like a room with a cat, they can't like breathe properly and stuff.
That'd be so annoying. Like if you're like so excited to get like your first pet, and it's like no, allergic.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible.
So next up is, am I allergic to latex? So should we start with talking about what latex actually is?
Yeah, it's a type of rubber, right?
Yeah, so latex is the like natural substance that's used to manufacture rubber.
Okay.
So it's latex is produced by rubber trees.
I just find that so funny, like imagining this tree just like giving birth to rubber tires or something, just dropping bits of rubber.
I mean, not quite, but kind of.
Is it like a resin or something?
Yeah, so it's like a cloudy white liquid that acts as a protective fluid beneath the bark.
Funny how cloudy white fluid and protection is also what it's used for. Against cloudy white liquid.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so anyway, back to...
Throw you off there.
Yeah, so latex can be collected by cutting a thin strip of bark from the tree, and then the latex sort of flows down the tree, and you can, put a spout, tap it, and collect it, and then that's processed into rubber products. And then a latex allergy, as similar to the other allergies we've already discussed, is a reaction to a certain protein found in natural rubber latex made from the rubber tree. And so if you have a latex allergy, your body mistakes latex for a harmful substance.
Yep.
And the latex allergy can occur either by direct contact, which is like just basically if you touch latex containing products like latex gloves, condoms, balloons, that sort of thing. Or if you've got a more severe allergy, you can have a reaction by inhalation. So like especially gloves, when you sort of pull them off, the latex particles can be released into the air, and then you can breathe them in. So it is worth noting that not all latex products are made from natural latex. There is man-made latex, such as like latex paint, and then that's not likely to cause a reaction.
Is that what is used in like latex-free products?
So for gloves, I think the alternative is like nitrile gloves.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll get onto like alternative condoms in a bit. So first I just wanted to talk about the risk factors to developing a latex allergy. Mm-hmm. So it turns out that people who have had a higher exposure to latex can be more at risk.
As a kid?
So just in general, so latex allergies tend to develop slowly, occurring after years of repeated exposure. So latex allergy is much more common in healthcare workers because they have to wear the gloves all the time. Also people with spina bifida, which they think is because they've had to have a lot of healthcare early in life, so they've been in contact with a lot of latex products. People who undergo multiple surgeries, rubber industry workers.
This is really strange. Is there a reason for this?
Not sure, really.
Do you think it's like just a build up until like a critical point?
Yeah, it kind of seems opposite from some of the things you were saying earlier about increasing your tolerance.
Exposure earlier on,
yeah. So I don't really know. And also, if you've got a family history of allergies, you're more likely to get it.
No, I feel like it has to be the sort of like a little bit is okay, but as you build more and have come into contact with more and more of it, your body's suddenly like, okay, there's too much of it going on in my system or something like that.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. And then also, there's a connection between a latex allergy and also some food allergies. Because certain foods contain the same allergens found in latex.
Okay, so basically the same protein.
Yeah, so that's including avocado, banana, chestnut, kiwi, passion fruit, tomato, bell pepper, and potato. So
wow, it's such a wide variety of food as well.
Yeah, so if you're allergic to any of those foods, you might be more likely of being allergic to latex and vice versa.
Worth noting.
So about 30 to 50% of people with latex allergies are also allergic to some or all of those foods.
Okay.
So how many people do you think have latex allergy or sensitivity?
I think it'll be less than 1 in 100. I'll go for 1 in 1,000.
So what's that, 0.1%?
Yes.
So it's actually between 1 and 6% in America.
That's so much higher than I think, because I feel like maybe it's just because I come into more contact with it, but the sort of like free from food range just seems so proliferative, whereas I hardly ever see like latex free products anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of products, like especially sort of lab gloves, tend to be latex free now, maybe because of the increased risk, because, how it's 1 to 6% for normal people, but it's actually 8 to 12% in healthcare workers.
That's like 1 in 10.
So that's like up to double.
Yeah. Isn't the latex industry a little, there is a finite amount of like natural latex because it is a natural resource. Yeah. So they're probably trying to move away from...
Yeah, so a lot of it used to be produced in the Amazon, but now they've moved away from that, and it's all produced basically all produced in Asia now.
Okay.
But they're kind of on rubber plantations that were sort of built by the British, sort of in the late 1800s, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's only so much they can produce. But yeah, some of the alternatives though are made from petroleum-based products, so that's not
so good.
ideal either.
No. Maybe they could be recycled better or something.
Yeah, well, I guess it's difficult for stuff like surgical gloves and that. 'Cause you don't really
can't really recycle that anyway.
Yeah. More specifically, moving on to am I allergic to condoms? If you experience a frequent and unexplained itching after sex, it could be a sign of an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
So if you've definitely not got an STI.
Yeah, I guess it'd be hard to work out what's going on there.
Yeah, so there are some alternatives to the latex condom. So one option is lambskin condoms, which were used before the development of latex. So they're made from the intestinal lining of sheep.
Jeez,
but
man.
I don't really know how easy they are to get. Apparently there are some available, but it seems a little...
It seems a little gruesome, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, using tree guts seems kind of less gross than using animal guts to me.
It's a lot further away as well, like in terms of the steps.
Yeah,
it's like you see sheep on the field. You never seen a latex tree.
Yeah, the benefits are that the condoms are all natural, but
benefit. Sometimes.
And also they can have heightened sensitivity. Like some people say they can't feel it at all. Although they can prevent you from getting pregnant, they don't prevent the spread of STIs.
Really? Yeah.
Because viruses can just pass through the pores.
Oh, I see.
So they're not ideal.
No.
And they are a bit, I don't know, bit creepy.
It's a little creepy. I mean, it's a bit harsh to say, like, some people have to use this alternative. I'm hoping you're going to say that there's a different alternative.
Yeah, so there are other alternatives as well. That
okay, let's move on to that.
Not got your dick inside a sheep.
You said it.
So there are also, like, plastic-based condoms made from polyurethane, and these both protect from pregnancy and from STIs. And polyurethane is a bit thinner than latex and conducts heat well, so it can feel quite natural, but it doesn't have the same stretch as latex, so they might not fit as well.
Okay, maybe there's more sizing options then.
Yeah, so they may be at risk of slipping off or breaking, which is also
not ideal.
Not good. So what is currently the best option is polyisoprene, which is a synthetic rubber, and so I assume it's more similar to actual latex than other options, and that also conducts heat better than latex and stretches better than polyurethane.
Yeah.
So that
sounds like a win overall.
Like the best option there.
And finally, I looked at this very peculiar one. Am I allergic to alcohol?
No, you're just drunk.
So originally I thought people just didn't understand how hangovers work. But they do in fact exist.
What, alcohol allergies?
Yes. So most people who think they have an allergy for alcohol actually have like celiacs or some other allergies to the other ingredients within the alcohol.
Okay.
Such as like the grapes, or if you're celiac, the gluten. And apparently there's seafood proteins in some drinks and egg proteins, and sulfites are quite common as well.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think, why would someone think they were allergic to alcohol? But I was actually thinking that different people have different tolerances to alcohol.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if you're going out with your friends and they drink this, you drink the same amount of them and they seem fine the next morning, and then you're feeling really shit. You'd be like, why? You know, I think you might jump to an allergy, or at least that's what you'd think.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I'd just be like, I don't have the same tolerance as them.
Yeah, but that's because we have a science background.
I feel like an allergy is quite a specific thing, though. Like the symptoms of an allergy are quite specific. I feel like feeling generally sick and not wanting to look at a bright light is not.
Yeah, I guess you also get tired though. Headaches. I imagine if you've got bad hay fever, you can kind of get like headachy because of the congestion. I
feel like maybe if you got a really bad hangover from having one drink or something like that, you might think.
But it could have just been spiked.
Maybe my body is broken. Yeah. But I feel like if you went out and had quite a lot to drink, I probably wouldn't jump to the conclusion of, I have an allergy to this.
Okay. Maybe. Do you have a better idea of why people might have, like, why this is such a common topic people are searching for?
Probably because they're just hungover. Maybe people are like, I'm always so hungover. Maybe I'm allergic to this.
Okay.
So, like, did you find anyone that's like specifically allergic to the alcohol, or is it?
There are people that are allergic to alcohol itself.
Okay, not just like the grapes or whatever.
No. So you can be allergic.
So, what is the symptoms of that?
Just the usual symptoms you get. Rash, itchy throat. I would guess, bad stomach.
But they're not hangover symptoms necessarily, are they?
No. But let's face it, when you're hungover, you just feel bad. And I imagine that's kind of similar if you've got an allergy. But I would imagine it's very hard to test for as well. Exactly. You probably need one of those like elimination.
Also, I feel like healthcare. So, like for the celiac test, you have to eat gluten before your test.
Oh,
otherwise, but your healthcare practitioners can't say, "We'll drink loads, and then we'll see how you're doing." Like, I feel like as a healthcare practitioner, you kind of want to encourage people to reduce their alcohol intake regardless.
And that was basically my one treatment that I found was just avoid alcohol.
Don't drink alcohol. Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a pretty shitty one to have, but...
I mean, I feel like that's the treatment for most allergies, really. You have to avoid the allergen, and there are things you can take to lessen your symptoms if they're particularly severe.
Having an allergy must definitely suck. I don't think either of us have severe allergies.
No, I think also as well, like if you have a severe allergy, how careful you have to be to stop, having things that have been cross-contaminated. You have to get that big red binder out at the restaurant every time you go out for a meal.
Yeah. What do you think would be the worst one out of, let's say, the top ones that we had? What do you think would be the worst allergy?
Personally, I feel like a gluten allergy would be a real bummer because I quite enjoy making and eating cake and all the carb-based foods.
I wholeheartedly agree. It would be such a pain to be gluten-free.
I feel like it is quite interesting to see what people have searched. It's like, it kind of is like, these people's main concerns, my pets, my cakes, my sex, and, food.
Yeah, I mean, food, loved ones, and sex.
And alcohol.
And alcohol, yeah.
What else do you need?
Not much else, apart from this podcast, and so do your friends. So if you did enjoy this podcast and your friends aren't allergic to
podcasts,
awesome audio medium, then
that would be a bummer. You go, my ears are so rashy. What's happened? Oh, it must have been this bad podcast I'm allergic to.
But please do share this podcast, and you can also follow us on social media at scpodcast_UK.
And you can also drop us emails at searchcompletepodcast@gmail.com, especially if you've got any suggestions for future show topics we can look up and see what people are worrying about.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. I'm Doug.
And I'm Yvette.
Thanks for listening.